Utopia. 40 live everywhere on the
Bro for X.
Your home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Good Saturday morning to you. All weekend long, we are having a
Good guys on.
lighting. One of those areas that homeowners, not only homeowners and builders and contractors, by the way, not only get wrong more often than not, but don't realize that they don't know enough about in order to seek out the help they need. Well, help has arrived. Here I am trying to just give you some insight into the whole subject of lighting for home. We talked about a lot of things so far. Let's get into this next lesson. Before the break, I said the worst lighting issue for your home. The worst. Really? There's a worst. Yeah, there is a worst, in my opinion. This is the one thing, if you remember nothing else about what we discussed this weekend, that I want you to take into account in all of your lighting decisions. What is the worst lighting issue? Glare. 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 Glare is something you know. I was sitting at the 8th Theater in Los Angeles last night. Tina and I were down in downtown for a special show that we went to. And I was, before the show started, I was the house lights were up. And I was sitting there thinking, you know what? I want to look up at this historic theater. I mean, it's gorgeous theater built back in the early 20s. In Spanish Gothic style, by the way, FYI. And I wanted to look around at all this architecture, but the house lights were on, and there were these two very large spots attached to the ceiling up there, pointing down on the audience before the show started. And the glare was so intense that I just kept looking down. It was frustrating. Glare. And this is going to dovetail into several different elements of lighting discussion that you and I are going to have today and tomorrow, especially as it relates to the way people are handling recessed can lights, putting in too many, putting them in the wrong place, and using the wrong trims, because to save a little bit money, what we end up with are these bright white spots on the ceiling that make looking up at a ceiling or even entering a room sometimes weirdly uncomfortable. Why? Because of glare. Now, why is glare such an irritant to us? Because glare is a very specific kind of lighting condition in which there is a pinpoint of overly bright light in a field in which there is not a lot of brightness. And so the iris in our eye is contracts heavily and is trying to wrestle with the fact of controlling the intensity of that pinpoint of light. And what it's also doing is trying to, by doing that, it's shutting down the field of vision all around it, right? You don't need me to explain the experience of glare to you, but I just want to remind you of the uncomfortableness of that experience. When there is glare in your eyes, you don't see anything anymore. I mean, it's just an all-consuming thing. And far too many homes, and sometimes theaters, have a glare problem. I wish they'd done the house lighting in a way last night in which I could have enjoyed looking around the theater and found my seat at the same time. But somebody just decided, two big spots down in the audience is fine. Nobody cares to look up. Yeah, well, no one is going to look up. That's the point. So, it's an uncomfortable reaction. It is the reason why one of the most famous and pricey mid-century lamps ever. Just a little bit of lighting history here. The Louis Paulson PH5 pendant light. If you have never seen a PH5 pendant, you should look it up right now. PH5 by Louis Paulson. It was actually designed by Paul Hennington in the 1950s. Yeah, these are pendant lights. They're very very Scandinavian kind of mid-century design. Very cool looking lights. And some people are like, so what? So it's like, whoa, that's a heavy price. Why did that thing cost $1,000? I'll tell you why. Because it's an ingenious pendant light. It is a pendant light designed by Paul Hennington, in which it throws light up against the ceiling. It throws light down onto the table that it's over, and it throws ambient light out into the room, all without, because of this unique baffling system that it uses, all without what? Glare. No glare. You can look at this light when it's on its full brightness and just enjoy the look of the light without your eye reacting to glare whatsoever. It's kind of a scientific lighting wonder, which is why it's been so revered for so long in the lighting community. It is just, I'm not telling you to go buy a PH5 lamp. What I am telling you is how important glare is in the lighting problem scenario, okay? So, how do we deal with glare? Well, that is the question, isn't it? There are things that we want to do, and there are a few things that we absolutely don't want to do. We'll talk about that when we return. Your home is being checked the house whisperer, Brian Baruna.
Actually, Damon King, live from the Kfi 24-hour newsroom, a prominent Ukrainian photojournalist who was actually alive last month in a combat zone near the capital city of Kyiv, has been found dead. Officials say Max Levin was killed with 2 gunshots, allegedly fired by the Russian military. LA County's prices at the pump have dropped below $6 a gallon for the first time since March 21st. Drivers are paying average of $5.99 for self-serve regular gas. That's 7 cents less than last week's average, but $1.07 higher than a month ago. Will Smith is retired from the Motion Picture Academy following his Oscars night slap of Chris Rock, and said he would accept any further punishment the organization imposed on him. So a crash in Rolling Heights on the 60.
It's on the eastbound side of the 60s freeway, right at No Gal. It's a big rig on its side here. The 2 right lanes are shut down from that. That's going to back you up just as you approach the scene of that. You also see slowing on the 110 freeway northbound side, heading out South LA, crossing all the way into downtown. And on the 10 freeway eastbound, you have the South Trans work through West Colgate and between Sunset Avenue and East Avenue 3 right lane shut down until midnight Sunday. You are slow heading into the closure. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Bucky. Go ahead.
Sorry about that, getting used to this new shift. This report brought to you by Light.
Hey, Amy, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome home. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, guarantees equal access for the disabled as a constitutional right. The problem is, even though it's been the law of the land since 1990, most brick-and-mortar businesses, most commercial properties, most multi-unit dwellings still not in compliance or full compliance. Your property or your place of business without a caste certification is a lawsuit waiting to happen. If you think, not a big deal, you should know California leads the country in ADA lawsuits. So what are you going to do? You're going to call the good people at R-Core. R-Core will identify your ADA deficiencies and show you the path to the certification you need to minimize your exposure. One lawsuit can break you. Get out in front of liability with ADA certification from R-Core. Call R-Core toll-free today, 866-613-2519, 866-613-2519, or go to adaguru.com.
Your happiest spring starts at Lowe's, and right now save $50 on the Cobalt 40-volt self-propelled mower. Was $399, now just $349. Lowe's, home to any possibility. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Call 331-246. This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen.
The word is out.
People are abandoning their overpriced wireless carriers and flocking to PureTalk for the same 5G coverage, but at a fraction of the price. In fact, the average family saves over $800 a year when switching from Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. Just dial pound 250 and say, switch now to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say, switch now.
There, the rescue dog had very flaky skin, dropping a lot of fur, and Levette wanted to do steroid injections. I was at a dead end. YNOVICE.com. Probably 6 weeks after we started using Dynavite. No more flaky skin, it doesn't scratch and itch. It was awesome. How happy this dog will be. Every rescue dog in America deserves Dynavite for 90 days. YNOVICE.com.
These two presents Picture. You stand before the new signature Stackburger menu as you hear 5 cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef, like the loaded A1 Stackburger. And your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? These two, happy tastes good. If you want out of your house, for whatever reason, maybe you're moving or downsizing, there are financial issues, maybe you inherited it.
Selling your home usually needs hours of chasing and cleaning and staging. But what if you could sell your home for a fair price without any of that hassle? The buyer never had to walk through your home. You could sell it without an appraisal, no commission, no fees.
What if you could get paid in cash and get it done fast, like in 10 days or less? This is exactly what DirectBuyers.com will do.
DirectBuyers.com is a local family-owned business. They've been around since the mid-'80s. We talked with the owners, Janet and Matt, wonderful people. They care about their clients.
You don't want to go to a national call center. These are the people we trust. Do not sell your home until you talk to DirectBuyers.com. See what they can offer you. They will give you an honest, no-obligation offer. They can even get you $15,000 cash advance before closing to help with your move.
They're not going to lowball you. Go to DirectBuyers.com. DirectBuyers.com. 844-242-SELL. That's 844-242-SELL. DirectBuyers.com.
We've been down this road before, SoCal, the one that brings us back to drought. But we know how to find our way by using less water. The best route is to fix leaks quickly. Or adjust our sprinklers so they only water plants, not pavement. And add California-friendly and native plants to your gardens and pots. For tips and helpful rebates, visit SeawaterWise.com.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk. Welcome home. Hey, thanks for joining us on the program today. We've got a few minutes left here to talk some lessons in lighting, and then we are going to pick up this conversation again tomorrow. Tomorrow's program, Sunday's show from 9 to 11. And we will finish out our lessons in lighting. Why? Because there's a lot to talk about. All right, now, when I left you just a few minutes ago before the break, I was telling you about glare, the number one lighting issue that I want you to be aware of and make sure that you resolve as you do the lighting in your house. It applies on so many levels. So, where are some of the basic areas where people screw up and create glare? Well, number one, here we go, recessed can lights. And I have a lot more to say about this tomorrow on tomorrow's program, so don't miss it. Recessed can lights are a source of potential glare, a great source of potential glare. And it's unfortunate. Can I explain this to you? There are only 2 kinds of light in the world. All right? I'm going to make it really, really simple. There's only 2 kinds of lights in the world. One is a light fixture that is not intended to draw attention to itself. In fact, its goal is to throw light and let the light be the focus of attention, not itself. Okay? It's a giver, as it were. Okay? It has no ego. It is not there to say, hey, look at me. It is a source of light. It is not a source of design or decorative pleasure to look upon. Okay? There are those kinds of light. The other kinds of light that there are in the world are design fixtures. Light that not only give off light, but also say, hey, look at me. Aren't I attractive? Okay? Now, I'm not attributing ego to light, so just so you know, I don't have an issue with either one. But I want you to understand that if you can understand that basic division between the two kinds of lighting fixtures there are in the world, then you can understand that once you know which one you've got in your hand, your job, take it all the way. If you've got a lamp, if you're thinking about buying a lamp, that lamp is going to be something that, lamps are one of those areas where, they draw a certain attention to themselves. They have a design. They've got a little review to them, okay? So buy the best, most attractive lamp that you can afford. Buy a lamp that coincides with the theme, the look, the feel, the vibe of the house. Do the best you can with it to allow it to be an accent feature that the people proudly, happily look upon in your home, whether it's lit or not. But the other kind of fixture, if that's what you're dealing with, aka a recessed can light or something like it, this is a light who is supposed to ideally go away. The fixture itself, only the light is relevant. So guess what? The best thing you can do to serve your home is to step up and do whatever is necessary to help that light go away. All right, so that brings up a subject when it comes to recessed can lights. I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to revisit this tomorrow. Recessed can lights are typically 2 units, okay? There is the housing, that's the part that goes up into the ceiling that's just built into the house, the housing. That's what gets wired in, it supports itself. There's all sorts of different housings. There are new construction housings, remodel housings, whatever it is. That's on the other side of the drywall or the plaster, that's the housing, okay? That's holding the guts of the light. And then there are the trims. The trims, for any one given housing of a light. In fact, like in the world of recessed can housing, you'll buy, let's say, a 4-inch recessed can housing, and there may be 50 different trims that can go on that housing. The trim is what you look at when you look up at the ceiling. You see it's a little ring, and hopefully, here we go, hopefully a baffle. Now, a baffle is that cone-shaped thing that's attached to the trim ring that goes up inside the housing, okay? So what I am advocating for here is that when at all possible, that you install recessed can housing, as you do, and then purchase for them baffle trims. Baffle trims are different than that super easy, convenient thing that they're selling on the counter of the, on the shelves at the big box store, which is an LED trim light source fixture all in one. In other words, it's a lens, it's very flat. When you put it onto the recessed can light, it just continues kind of the ceiling line straight across, and that is the source of the light. The lens is also the bulb. And here's the problem. When you turn that light on, that light source is sitting right on the surface of the ceiling, and it produces glare. As an option to that, as an alternative to that, what ideally we want to see you do is not use a surface lens trim for your recessed can light. I know there's people groaning all over Southern California right now. We just bought those for our house. Instead of using a surface trim, You want a baffle in which the light source is up inside the housing. Remember, it's a recessed lighting fixture. Recessed means that it recesses into the wall. Take advantage of that. Don't turn a recessed can fixture into a surface mount light. It's not intended to be that. So, a baffle trim sets or pushes the light source up inside the can, so that when you walk into a room and you're looking across the flat ceiling with a number of recessed can lights who are using real honest-to-goodness baffles, cone baffles, you will see none of the bulbs. You will not see the light source itself. There will be no severe direct eyeball-on-light glare, because it's tucked up in a hole. It's in a well. It's up above the ceiling line. You understand what I'm saying? So, no surface lenses. Use an actual recessed baffle trim to get that light source up above the level of the ceiling to avoid glare. Now, when it comes to baffles, you got choices. Don't be, Tina says, what'd you say?
Don't be baffled.
Oh my God. You know, you say like one sentence per show, and it's the thing that everybody remembers. So, all right, so, you've got choices. So what's the right baffle? Well, okay, if we want to go away, then I guess white. White would be the right baffle tone choice color, right, Amy? Nope. Here's the thing. The white baffle, once the light goes on, is going to display the largest amount of glare because it's the most reflective thing, right? In other words, there still will be glare from the light source when you're using a white baffle. So a white baffle is not my first choice. Now they make all shapes and colors, all right? So I'm not telling you there's a universal right or wrong choice, but I'm giving you pearls. So the white baffle, a lot of glare. Well, how about, what's the least amount of glare? A black baffle, okay? But here's the problem. Recessed can light, not to draw attention to itself. What about during the day, when you're not using those lights? You got black holes in your ceiling if you use a black baffle. The holes are so black that they draw attention to themselves, and that's a fail. So we don't use black, or very, very rarely, in certain occasions we do. But usually we don't use black, and we usually don't use white. What do we use? We use something called a brushed satin, okay? It's a kind of a chrome, think of like a brushed stainless steel, okay? As a thing, satin, metallic baffle. And the reason we use it is the brushed satin puts off way less glare than white when the light is on. And yet, it's light enough that when the lights are off, it's not a heavy contrast with the rest of the ceiling, making a big black hole in the ceiling. All right, you see where we're going with all this? Oh my gosh, what great advice for you. All right, we're going to pick up this conversation tomorrow. Do not miss the conclusion of our lessons in lighting. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's program, 9 to 11. Until then, hey, thanks for spending the morning with me. It's been a privilege as always. Handle on the laws up next. If you got legal questions, the lines are open. Whatever your plan is for this day, be intentional, be kind, please, and get out there and get busy building yourself a beautiful life. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Trying to keep track of everything that's going on. Luckily, that's a little hobby of ours.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Taking a new tack. I'm Amy King, live from KFI 24-hour newsroom. Ukraine and its Western allies say there's mounting evidence of Russia withdrawing its forces from around the capital city of Kyiv and building up troop strength in eastern Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky said he expects towns that Russian forces have pulled out of to be hit by airstrikes and shelling from afar, and expects the battle in the east to be intense. Vice President Harris says Russia will face serious consequences for its invasion.
Our policy from the beginning has been about ensuring that there are going to be real costs exacted against Russia in the form of severe sanctions, which we know are having a real impact.
Harris says when someone commits the kinds of acts that Putin did and is doing, there has to be consequences. Actor Will Smith has decided to resign from the Motion Picture Academy.
Industry Insider says the decision is a preemptive strike from the pending actions of the Academy's Board of Governors. Smith said yesterday his actions during the 94th Academy Awards last Sunday were shocking, painful, and inexcusable. During the show, Smith walked on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock across the face after Rock made fun of Smith's wife. Sources told Variety the Academy was planning to suspend Smith for a year and deny him an invitation to next year's Oscars. Smith said change takes time, and he's committed to doing the work to ensure he will never again allow violence to overtake reason. Steve Gregory, Kfi News.
LA County and the state have officially lifted the requirement that attendees at indoor mega events, like sporting events and concerts, show proof of a COVID-19 vaccination or a negative COVID test. It's the latest pandemic-era mandate to be lifted after mask mandates were scrapped indoors at most locations. Masks are also no longer required at outdoor mega events or on school campuses. SoCal Gas says it's going to install 240 electric car chargers across different locations. Company spokeswoman Elizabeth Rodell says the chargers will have new equipment.
We plan to purchase Ford F-150 lightning electric.
Rodell says the company plans to replace half its fleet with clean fuel cars by 2025. The company has taken other steps to get there, including buying hydrogen-powered cars. The Border Patrol agent President Biden promised would pay for allegedly trapping illegal immigrants while on horseback have been cleared of any criminal misconduct. The agents were slammed by President Biden and Vice President Harris, who said at the time images of the agents evoked times of slavery. Some Democratic lawmakers accused the agents of whipping the migrants. The National Border Patrol Council president says an investigation into what happened in Del Rio, Texas in September has been completed and the agents have been cleared of any wrongdoing. Costs could be going up for both the chicken and the egg.
An avian flu has killed more than 17 million birds in the U.S., according to data from the Agriculture Department. More than 11 million of those are egg-laying chickens, about 3% of the total number of egg-laying chickens in the country. It's the worst virus outbreak in 7 years, and it's hitting major poultry companies like Tyson and Hormel. Prices for a dozen eggs have climbed about 52% since February. Demand is expected to spike for the Easter holidays for, Easter eggs, and that could drive prices even higher. Brian Blumen, KFI News.
For the first time in their 27-year history, some of its workers have voted to unionize. The successful vote is by workers in Staten Island, New York. Actually, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do.
You're traveling in West Coast. Eastbound, you'll see a work zone that has 3 right lanes closed off until midnight Sunday. That's in between Sunset Avenue and Azusa Avenue. Roland Heights on the 60 eastbound at Nogales. There's a crash involving a big rig. Has the 2 right lanes blocked off since the Southway Rise on Fullerton Road. And in Fontana on the 15 northbound, a work zone there has the 3 left lanes closed off until further notice. That's in between Sierra Avenue and the 215. You're currently seeing some heavy traffic from Duncan Canyon. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
You've been lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc.